Hello everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Marilyn Harrigan, Technical Specialist Manager at Strucsoft Great Tech Group, and I am excited to talk to you about automating the design of cold form steel structural with MWF for Revit 2025. For today's agenda, we're going to look at some of the challenges of modeling framing in Revit. We will look at what is MWF Pro Metal. We'll quickly go over how MWF fits into the Revit workflow, and then jump into a live demonstration of the software. Let's get a brief overview at some of the challenges that users encounter when modeling LGS framing in Revit. Without having a specific plugin, framing in Revit can be complex and time-consuming task. Often involves manual and repetitive process. Coordinating with multiple teams around the structural framing, the process of fabricating drawings and other documents such as cut lists can be error-prone and tedious. We find that users struggle to find a global solution to bridge the gap between Revit and their CNC machinery or cold former. Here are some challenges that MWF can solve. It is integrated directly into the Revit environment. It also offers a dedicated tool set to automate the task of modeling structural and non-structural framing. It offers a simple but yet powerful rule-based, template-driven workflow. This simplifies the complex and time-consuming processes. The software also built for all users, including engineers, contractors, drafters, modulars, offsite builders, and more. Some of the key features that MWF includes: the ability to automate the modeling for walls, floors, roofs, and trusses, simplifies the coordination between structural, architectural, and MEP models, easy generating shop drawings, cut lists, and reports, and generating the CNC outputs for CNC manufacturing for cold form. MWF fits into Revit workflow naturally by recognizing existing architectural families, allowing the framing to adjust in line with any changes that are made in the Revit project. This functions as a single source of truth for architectural, structurals, and MEP teams. This allows the user to create a data-rich model with all the information required to produce this LGS model. With that, we're going to move on to the technical demonstration of MWF for Revit 2025. So you can see here, I am using Revit 2025, and we are going to be using the MWF Pro Metal. Here you can see I have a Revit model already modeled. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the first floor. I'm just going to zoom into this corner here. With our software, what I can do is I can select the Revit wall. come into our tab here when you do install the software. Here we are going to be focusing on the walls. I am going to come in here. I am going to hit the create, and from here in the PowerPoint we did go over the template driven. So in this information here I have all the data that I need for that panel. So how do I want to create that framing? So I am going to be selecting this one here, and based off of the information I have there, it is going to be creating a 6-inch wall with all the MWF information in there. So what type of spacing I have, what type of studs I'm going to be using, what's my top and bottom track, do I have, additional holes, blocking, all that stuff is going to be embedded into that template. And then when creating, it's going to put all that information in there. So we kind of just zoom in here. You can see I do have some data here. We're going to give a little better view if we go into the 3D view here. I'm just going to zoom into this area here. So you can see I have, a panel here. I'm just going to temporarily hide the wall. And you can see I have a bottom track, I have some studs, I have a window there, and the window has a truss header. I'm going to bring back that wall. And with our software, what we can do is we can move some elements there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move the window just a tad bit. You can see that the framing is not following that wall, or it's no longer in the right location. All we have to do is select an element and just hit the regenerate button. And by doing that, the software will recognize that that element has moved, and it will adjust the framing based off of the new location. Even if I remove the wall, all I have to do is just remove the window, sorry. All I have to do is just regenerate that panel, and the software will recognize that the window is no longer there, and it's going to frame based off of the information that we have in that template, and then also removing the framing for that window. The same thing if you made your wall bigger or longer, the changes will be there. Now, here I've created one panel. However, if we go over here and I say, let's say if I want to select these panels here, I'm just going to filter out just my walls. I have about 33 walls there. We have what's called a quick create command, and it's going to be based off of a template map. So here are all the walls I have in that project, and then I have associated wall templates to the Revit walls. I'm going to hit OK, and then from there, what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to hit quick create. And what's happening right now is it's taking each wall and then check to see what type of wall am I, and then from there, what template am I associating to, and then it's going to based off of the data that you have in there. It's going to go through each of the different walls that you have. Also, when it comes to openings, how do we want to frame those openings? That's stuff that can be saved into your templates. And so forth, holes, blockings, and so forth. So you can see right now we have already created 11 panels within less than 60 seconds. So we're almost halfway there. And these templates can be used throughout your projects. If you can create basic ones, you can put as much details if you like on them. There's a lot of things you can do with these templates. So we're almost done. All right, we're almost at the little last bit here. It also tells you a percentage of how close you are. So right now we're about 94% done. And we're just at the last one. Perfect. It's just placing the last information there. So you can say within, I would say within less than 2 minutes, we have 33 panels already created. And again, with the information that we have in those templates. So if I kind of just zoom in here, you can see I have some information there. Perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go into a 3D view so that we can kind of see. So here I have only the only framing shown. I do have MEP there. But because we're in Revit, you have options for different types of views. So here I just wanted to show my structural framing. So these are the panels that we just created. You can see I have a truss header also here. So based off of the information that you have in the template will determine what you have shown in the framing. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into a different tab, and from there what we're going to go over is the MEP in the software. So if I look here, you can see I have just pan over here. I have a bathroom, we have a shower, toilet, and so forth. Here you can see, if we zoom in here, I have a sink with some pipes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select that wall that the pipes are in, and I'm also going to select the link, or the model group, sorry. I'm just going to temporarily hide that so we can just take the rest. I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to select that, select the wall, and I'm just going to just show that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this wall and I'm going to quick create it so that we can have some framing there. Now if I zoom in there, you can see that my pipe is going through my studs. Now if I isolate that stud, you can see that I don't have anything there. That's okay, because we do have tools that will put the information that we need. So in this case, I want to have some holes there because when it comes to the manufacturing, I want to make sure when I go put this to my manufacturing or to my machine, I want the machinery to create those holes. So to do that, we're going to go into our interference or clash detection tools. There we're going to have some holes. I've already preset the holes. They're going to be round holes. And then I'm just going to go into the tool itself. Now this tool's already set up. You set that up, you do your information, and then all you have to do is just run it. So we're going to hit OK. And then from there, what's going to happen is a dollar box is going to pop up stating how many holes we're going to generate. So in this case here, it's created or punched 4 holes. So I'm going to hit OK. So I'm just going to zoom in there. You have 1 hole here, 2, 3, and we have also on the bottom track there. So you can see I'm hovering, we have a hole there. Perfect. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a shop drawing. So based off of the information for your shop drawings, we'll determine what you have in there. So if you want to show holes, do you want to have your pipes shown? Do you want to label your pipes? Do you want to have dimensions, a cut list for your pipes, or a bill of material saying how many the pipes are in there, your framing, your length of your framing, the quantity of the framing. And we can also get the shop drawings to match your CNC output so that when you in sites in the factory, they can take the CNC and then the shop drawings and use it as a reference. So I'm just going to go into where my my sheets are. And then here you can see that I have a sheet here. So I do have a 3D here. I have a top and I have a bottom view. I have bill material. The bill material is a Revit schedule. So that means you can do stuff to the bill of materials. So here I have reported length, so I'm just going to change it to length and so forth there. If I go back in there, because it's a live element, a live schedule, whatever changes I do, we'll do it on there. So I'm just going to make this a little bit bigger. Perfect. Now, again, the naming convention, that's something that can also be changed. These things can be moved. We can add to it. Now, if I zoom in here, you can see this is where my pipe is. So it has labeled my pipe. I can get my pipe to show up. There's a bunch of items, a bunch of information that you can change. Now, this is something that is saved in your drawing settings, and it can go through multiple, you can export that information and use it throughout your other projects also. Now here you can see I do have a floor. So we're going to go back into our first floor there. I'm just going to select that floor. And then from there, I'm going to go into my floor module. I am going to use the quick create option that we have. Same thing that we have in the walls. So there, I have already set it up. So here you can see I have, some joists. So again, we have the same process. You can add multiple things to it. And then from here, we can select the floor. We're going to quick create this floor. And I'm also going to select the link I have there. With our floors, we also have that same option. We do have the interference. I'm just going to go and use the tool. Go to Clash. And there, it's going to do the same process in my walls. It's going to check, see if there are any pipe clashing through it, and it's going to create the type of opening based off of that information that we have. So here in this case, we have 11 holes. And here, since it's highlighted, you can see I have those holes. And then from there, I can also create shop drawings. Perfect. So here you can see in my bill of material, I do have some, information I don't want. So this is because of the Revit schedule, we can always go in there and we can always do changes if needed. So in this case, I'm going to do it by label and anything that contains information. So I can hit OK. Perfect. Again, maybe naming convention I want to change. These are things that you can change because of the Revit schedule. Also, because of the Revit schedule, this means that you can use formulas, grouping, and you can also create a master schedule and then use that master schedule throughout your walls and your floors, shop drawings. Perfect. So you can see here, I only have half of the model done, but if I come back in here and I select the remaining, I'll do it this way. And then I'm going to unselect this one due to it's already framed. We're just going to filter it out. Again, we have about 30 walls. And again, we just hit create. So in this demonstration, I showed you how to frame walls, how to use our quick create commands, how to use the MEP, how to do some modifications. And then from there, creative shop drawings, and I have shown the same concept when it comes to floors. With MWF Pro Metal, we frame in walls, floors, ceilings, flat roofs, trusses. These are the options that we have, and then from there we can create shop drawings, and also we can take this information and we can generate a CNC file. So now you can see I have framed that area. So if I just go here, you can see that now my first floor is already framed. Then I can go in there and do the same thing for my floors, ceilings, and then go in there and do the modifications that needed. You can see here, if I zoom in here, we do have some blocking. So I hope you guys have a fantastic day. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact us. Thank you.